Do you really know what's behind the jobs that you and your neighbors work each day? What truths lie beneath the surface of even the most ordinary seeming careers? Well, tune in as I uncover 14 eye-opening facts about common jobs that might just surprise you. I also have some news to share at the end of the show in case you missed it yesterday.
Welcome to the Ask Ralph podcast, where listening to an experienced financial professional with over 30 years of experience can help you make sense of confusing questions, current headlines, and industry trends about taxes, small business, financial decision-making, investment strategies, and even the art of proper budgeting. Ask Ralph makes the complex simple by sharing his real-world knowledge from a Christian perspective with all things financial. Now here's your host, Ralph Estep Jr.
Welcome to our Wacky Wednesday show. Yes, I'm going to be a little bit more funny and a little bit more laid back today. I'm so glad you chose to join us. I just want to thank you for listening and supporting the program. As normal, I'm coming to you from the Estep Farm in this beautiful Saggio accounting studio. Let me put on my podcaster hat, put down those overalls because, yes, overalls are common on the farm here. Let's push that adding machine to the side and let's get to some financial wisdom from a Christian perspective. Now, every job has its place in society, but there's often more than meets the eye, even for the most common roles we interact with daily. I'm going to shed light on 14 little-known truths about everyday jobs you might find shocking. From bank tellers to fast food workers, teachers to truck drivers, we'll uncover some fascinating insights. If you or a loved one works in any of these fields, you'll definitely want to tune in. Don't forget to subscribe to the show and join our email list. You do that at AskRalphPodcast.com so you don't miss tomorrow's show. Tomorrow we're going to talk about some common IRS penalties and why you certainly want to avoid them. It will be a very taxing discussion. Okay, I thought I could get away with that on Wednesday, but of course I'm not. This is not a comedy show, but I tried. We also just launched an insiders group on Facebook, and I encourage each of our listeners to join the group to continue the conversation from this show. It's a great place to share your ideas for the show. It's a place to discuss your triumphs and also your challenges. We've got some great communication going on out there. I'll have a link to the Facebook group in the show notes today. Let's kick things off with Proverbs chapter 16, verses 3 that says this: "Commit your work to the Lord, and your plans will be established." Let's dive into some eye-opening job truths. Truth number 1, bank tellers are under more scrutiny than you think. That friendly bank teller handling your deposits has people watching their every move. Bank tellers actually deal with huge amounts of cash daily while under intense security. Their drawers are counted before and after each shift to ensure no money goes missing. Many banks even use bait money with recorded serial numbers to catch thieves. So while tellers have access to loads of cash, their actions are tracked very closely. Let's move on to truth number 2. And that's this: garbage collectors make more than you'll expect. Many people underestimate how well garbage collectors are paid these days. Their average yearly salaries range from $35,000 to up to $45,000, in some places even more than that. Beyond that, they often receive great health insurance, wonderful pension plans, and even college tuition reimbursement in some major cities. Also, their high job demand means steady work. So next time you see that garbage truck pull up, know that driver is likely earning a very good living. Let's look at number 3, and that's teachers. They spend a lot more than you guess from their own pockets. It's sadly true. Underpaid teachers end up covering around $750 in school supply costs out of their own pockets each and every year. This goes towards like pencils, classroom decorations, snacks for students who can't afford them, and small prizes for motivation. I remember my boys were younger, even went to tissues. While parents often help out, the bulk still comes straight from the teacher's personal funds before their low salary. It's definitely shocking for this vital, neglected profession. The truth is, I have many clients who are teachers, so I know this is indeed a fact. Let's look at number 4. Flight attendants work longer monthly hours than anyone realizes. While flight attendant jobs appear glamorous with travel perks, their hours are absolutely grueling. I actually have a cousin. She is a flight attendant. Do you know the average attendant works 80 to 100 hours of flight time each and every month? Factor in airport standby hours plus transport time, and they're easily cracking over 120 hours monthly. And unlike 9 to 5 corporate gigs, attendants pull those hours with an unpredictable shift work schedule spanning early mornings to red-eye overnights. Much tougher working conditions than the public realizes. So next time you're on a plane, give that airline attendant a thumbs up. Let's move on to number 5. Veterinarians have among the highest suicide rates. Here's one of the sadder truths about a beloved profession. The U.S. recently ranked veterinarians 4th among careers with rampant suicide rates. I was actually surprised to learn this. Vets face compassion fatigue from frequent euthanasia decisions along with massive school debt. I don't think people realize just how much it costs to be a veterinarian, and then add to that modest income potential in these small clinics. Sadly, many see taking their own life as the only escape from endless stress. It shows how even passionate dream jobs have dark sides that take a real toll. Let's move on to number 6. Casino dealers' napkin trick rakes in big unclaimed winnings. All right, don't try this unethical tactic, but casino dealers secretly use napkin tricks to rack up unclaimed winnings off gamblers. When busy players walk away without cashing out small jackpot tickets, dealers pretend to throw them out, but they subtly stash these tickets worth hundreds inside discarded napkins nearby, and then they retrieve them later to cash out for themselves. That is truly a sneaky ploy earning dealers quick under-the-table cash you'd never expect. How about number 7? Oil rig laborers get paid big money but suffer consequences. Oil rig grunt work pays far more than most tough labor jobs with average salaries of $60,000 to $80,000 a year. However, 80-hour hazardous weeks in remote locations extract a heavy toll. Rig hands have drastically elevated divorce rates and the highest drug addiction levels of any profession. I was actually really surprised to read that. Roughnecks call their job selling your soul for the salary. The big paychecks help dull the pain, but take a severe social and physical consequence in return. Let's move on to truth number 8, and that's fast food workers. The truth is, fast food workers face wildly unpredictable weekly schedules. Behind that fast food counter, workers face chaotic weekly schedules, making their life planning nearly impossible. Computer programs crunch profitability algorithms that chop shifts unpredictably day by day to hit margins. Many employees never know if they'll work 10 hours next week or 35. This inability to budget time and income causes massive stress for already underpaid workers. The human consequences get ignored for cost controls, severely exacerbating inequality. Let's talk about truth number 9. Portfolio managers must endure surprisingly intense working conditions. You might picture Wall Street portfolio guys lounging in cushy offices, making big money decisions on a whim. In reality, though, folks, portfolio management is among the highest pressure finance roles alive. I remember in college, I had a professor who used to do this, and he told me he would not eat anything before dinner because he would just lose it. Beyond markets always moving, these guys manage hundreds of screaming clients to answer to daily. Work weeks typically exceed 80 hours, fueled by stress and pure adrenaline. And one bad losing streak means you're out of a job instantly. Not exactly a leisurely, luxurious career path like they show in the movies. Let's move on to number 10. Truck drivers speed to unhealthy levels just to get paid. Here's an alarming truth. Almost all truckers consistently break speed limits and drive fatigued simply to get their freight hauled for bare minimum pay. Modern logistics companies maximize efficiency via hyper-optimized routes and loading times. Drivers must then skip rest breaks just to complete routes on their schedule. But artificially tight logistics set them up for driving recklessly exhausted for fear of getting fired. The system literally incentivizes unhealthy and unsafe habits just to earn a basic check. Let's look at truth number 11, and that's retail workers must meet extreme corporate sales pressure. Earlier, we touched on fast food employees facing unpredictable schedules. Now let's explore the immense sales quotas and performance metrics retail associates endure. Most big box stores institute intense corporate sales targets for every single item in the store. Staff face constant pressure from management under the threat of reduced hours or firing even if targets aren't hit. Studies have shown 80% of retail employees skip bathroom breaks, while others have even resorted to sneaking small purchases on the customer tabs just to keep their numbers up, all for unusually minimum wage compensation. Let's look at truth number 12. Construction workers have surprisingly high rate of drug abuse. This was truly sad. Similar to oil rig laborers, construction workers fall victim to widespread drug addiction that outpaces nearly all other industries. Easy site access to prescription pain meds drives initial opiate reliance. Cocaine and other drugs use runs rampant to keep energy levels high amid extreme working conditions. Random drug tests can cost jobs, yet addiction withdrawal means workers can't afford to stop using amid dangerous combination of high stress and endless access to those drugs. Another eye-opening yet often overlooked workplace reality. Truth number 13. Pilots and flight crew work way more monthly hours than most people expect. Thinking of becoming a pilot? Make sure you know exactly what that entails. Commercial pilots log over 80 hours flying time each month on average. Meanwhile, flight attendants, as we talked about earlier, work around 90 to 120 hours monthly. And regional airline pilots face even more intense schedules, nearing 110 flight hours monthly. That's nearly double a standard of a 40-hour work week in the air alone. That's not even including airport standby, pre- and post-flight procedures, training, and more. Not a job for the faint of heart. And finally, we move on to truth number 14, and that's public defenders. Public defenders juggle crushing case overloads daily. The truth is, we expect corporate lawyers to handle hectic caseloads, but what about public defenders? These attorneys ensure even the poorest citizens get their right to counsel. However, with budgets slashed to the bone, public defenders take on up to 4 times the recommended maximum number of clients. This means prep work for less than 30 minutes per defendant before heading into serious felony trials, all while juggling hundreds of other active cases simultaneously. Grueling pressure meets idealistic justice, fueling mass burnout in the selfless few willing to take up the challenge. Well, if you work in any of these fields or know someone who does, make sure to pass this episode along because awareness is power. Going in with eyes wide open helps properly set expectations. It helps make informed decisions and finally helps balance priorities. Now, while a few truths shared today reflect unethical practices, they mainly reveal how easy it is to get caught in difficult situations when trying to provide for yourself or family. Visit AskRalphPodcast.com to explore resources helping Christians make value-based money decisions, including finding jobs that nourish the soul. So I want to encourage you to share this episode with friends or colleagues working tough jobs. Start conversations about finding meaning, finding balance, and finding purpose even with strange circumstances. Let's do a bit of a recap. Today we went on quite the roller coaster uncovering hidden realities behind common everyday jobs. Some uplifting, many rather concerning. The key lessons learned were balance worker dignity with business efficiencies, value service-minded roles that build community, and inject more compassion into profit-driven systems. So here's my call to action. If today's episode left you feeling uneasy about your own work, know that you always have options. Reach out anytime to get guidance on discovering your true calling, one that aligns with your convictions while providing the income you need. Whether an ethical small business concept or finding fulfillment in unexpected industries, I'm here to help you map out a personalized plan towards meaningful work. So here's that special announcement. I talked about this yesterday. After handling the complete production of the show since we relaunched last November, I am very excited to report that we now have added a production team to assist in putting the show together, both the audio podcast show and the online video shows on YouTube and Rumble. You may start to notice some subtle changes to the show, but assure that the content is not changing. We're just kicking it up a notch. I would absolutely love to hear your feedback as we move forward, so don't forget to reach out and share your thoughts. And also, I'm always looking for great show topics, so simply click on the microphone icon at AskRalphPodcast.com or send me an email. That's to Ralph@AskRalph.com. Stay savvy out there while evaluating career opportunities in workplaces, and remember this, what Proverbs 16:3 says, commit your work to the Lord, and your plans will be established.
Thank you for joining us on the Ask Ralph podcast. And with a simple click to subscribe, we'll invite you back to our next episode. And remember, financial issues don't have to be complicated. Just ask Ralph. The information contained in this episode of Ask Ralph is based on data available as of the date of its release. Saggio Accounting Plus and Ask Ralph Media, Inc. is under no obligation to update this content if changes occur. Applying this information to your specific situation requires careful consideration of all facts and circumstances, and any information provided is not to be considered as financial, tax, or legal advice. Please consult your tax advisor or attorney before acting on any material covered.